Okay. Next, for our audience participation, this is the point where we open the meeting to the public who wish to address the board on any item that is not as we are still operating under executive orders from the governor. We are still allowed to meet via Zoom. So on the agenda packet that is posted online, there is a Zoom link that you may click on, or you may phone call in. But feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to have a conversation at any time. All right, any other public comment, Village Clerk? No? Okay, is there anyone on the Zoom meeting who wishes to raise their hand to give their 3 minutes of public comment?
Dear village officials, my name is Gia Abata, a resident of Glen, Ellyn. I attest and affirm that the following statements are true, accurate, and within my personal knowledge. The Village of Glen, Ellyn Village Board has the duty and obligation to preserve the quiet enjoyment of Glen, Ellyn streets and residences while enduring the invasion of 4G and 5G so-called small wireless telecommunication facilities into Glen, Ellyn's residential neighborhoods. We say small WTFs are so-called small because the data proves otherwise. Once you no longer get fooled by the dimensions but focus on the power output. Small WTFs are therefore falsely branded. One small WTF 50 feet or so from a home is 25 million times more powerful than a macro cell tower that is 2,500 feet or more from a home. Once you consider the metric that matters, the intensities of the toxic pollutant RFMW radiation that reaches second and third story bedrooms. That's right, the distance of the wireless antennas to the bedroom is the key variable that demands appropriate and effective local regulation of the maximum power output from these antennas. It is simple. How much electromagnetic power through the air enables 5 bars on a cell phone? The answer is just 0.002 RFWM radiation units. What is the intensity of the RFMW radiation from a small WTF antennas placed 50 feet or so from a second-story bedroom? The answer is 50,000 average RFWM radiation units. The simple math is 50,000 divided by 0.002 yields a difference of 25 million times. I will say it again, 25 million times more power than is needed for telecommunications service, i.e. 5 bars on a cell phone. What are we allowing in Glen, Ellyn? What can we do about it? We can pass an ordinance, VHP, with the following language added to our current wireless ordinance. For any so-called small wireless telecommunication facilities that are installed in the public right-of-way or attached to any building or have antennas installed at a height that is lower than 100 feet off the ground, the applicant must install only antennas, radios, and other supporting equipment that have no chance of exceeding a total of 0.1 watt of effective radiated power from the face of the antenna shroud for all frequencies, wavelengths capable of being transmitted from the antenna. Place Ordinance VHP on the agenda for August and please vote this through. I have expressed no matter of mere concern but solely matters of substance, fact, and law. Signed this 27th day of July 2020, Gia Abata. Thank you.
Thank you, Gia. Next.
Next we have Julia. I'll be allowing you to talk. All right, you should be able to talk now.
Nope, Julia's still on me. Oh, now she's not. Okay.
Hello, my name is Julia Malkowski, and I am a resident of Glen, Ellyn. So thank you for the presentation previously. I really enjoyed that architectural presentation, and I just urge the village board members to consider the installation of towers in our town with regards to the character of Glen, Ellyn, because considering if a wireless tower is going to be installed in front of the homes, that would definitely affect the architecture and character of the town. I test and affirm that the following statements are true, accurate, and within my personal knowledge. Thank you all for doing your helpful works to Glen, Ellyn during these unprecedented times. I am suggesting some common sense solutions for local governments. Number 1, returning local control to the placement, construction, and operations of wireless telecommunications facilities of any size and any G. Number 2, instituting maximum power output limits for any wireless telecommunications facilities, WTFs, that are constructed in the public rights of way, attached to any building or lower than 100 feet from the ground. I believe the water tower WTFs are 60 feet from the ground. So we can achieve this by capping the maximum effective radiated power, which is the sum of maximum power input times the antenna gain for each frequency being transmitted by each antenna operating on the WTF. Number 3, introducing this ordinance, acronym We Want It, the Written Evidence Wireless Antenna Needs Test in Telecommunications Ordinance. The We Want It ordinance requires a comprehensive wireless signal strength test to be conducted every 6 months by an independent RF engineer who will log second by second the wireless signal strength levels in decibel milliwatts of every specific carrier licensed and unlicensed wireless frequency that is being transmitted to the streets of every local authority, every city, town, village, or unincorporated county area. The full data file for each We Want It test will be placed in the public record of each respective authority for anyone to review, analyze, and verify. That will serve as the basis for local decisions regarding the need for any additional wireless infrastructure in the placement, construction, and modification and operations of WTFs of any G within the authority's borders. This will help to preserve the character of Glen Ellyn and the quiet enjoyment of the streets. The cost for each We Want It test would be paid by antenna operators on a pro rata basis. The share of each wireless company's antenna capabilities, meaning the percentage of the sum of the maximum effective radiated power that could be transmitted by each antenna operating within the authority's border. This varies.
Julia, I'm sorry, that is 3 minutes, so you need to finish right now.
Okay. This very simple common sense order would give the village the objective data to preserve the quiet enjoyment of the streets and homes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Julia.
Can
Next?
you hear me now?
Yes. Welcome, Nancy.
Hi. My name is Nancy Perlman. I'm a resident of Glen Ellyn. I attest and affirm that the following statements are true, accurate, and within my personal knowledge. Thank you for all you are doing to help Glen Ellyn during this national emergency. A national emergency is defined by Merriam-Webster Dictionary as a state of emergency resulting from a danger or a threat of danger to a nation from foreign or domestic sources and usually declared to be in existence by governmental authority. On March 13, 2020, President Donald Trump issued a proclamation on declaring a national emergency concerning the novel coronavirus disease COVID-19 outbreak. The proclamation states, "Now, therefore, I, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, by the authority vested in me by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, do hereby find and proclaim that the COVID-19 outbreak in the U.S. constitutes a national emergency beginning March 1st, 2020. The proclamation continues in Section 3B. This proclamation shall be implemented consistent with applicable law and subject to the availability of appropriations." Next, we read in the Illinois state law on small cell wireless, SB 1451. Section 14, an authority may not prohibit, either expressly or de facto, the filing, receiving, or processing applications or issuings of permits or other approvals, if any, for the co-location of small wireless facilities unless there has been a local, state, or federal disaster declaration or similar emergency that causes the delay. So let's recap. We have a federal national emergency, novel coronavirus disease, COVID-19 outbreak. And we have a state law that respects such a federal national emergency. That is good. So now Glen Ellyn can take full advantage of this novel set of circumstances to legally declare a moratorium, a legal temporary delay on the processing of applications, placement, construction, or operations of wireless telecommunications facilities, WTFs of any size and any G, until the federal national emergency has been declared over. There are large advantages to voting through such a moratorium. The village will not be saddled with the first generation of overpowered equipment the wireless industry is attempting to slip past those cities, towns, and villages that are not paying attention. The village will have time to pass important ordinances to improve its wireless code, including Ordinance M, the moratorium, Ordinance VHP to regulate power output, an ordinance we wanted to ensure that the village has objective data upon which to base its siting decisions. The village will introduce needed delays in this attempted taking of residents' safety, privacy, and property values to allow SB 1451 to self-repeal in June 2021. Just like Easton, Connecticut, a state with a very similar small cell wireless state bill like SB 1451, we request this Ordinance M to be put onto the agenda for the next board meeting in August.
Nancy, your time is up. If you can wrap up, please.
Sure. I've expressed no concern or any other non-substantive matter, only matters of fact and law. I accept your oath of office. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Is there anybody else that had raised their hand since these three spoke?
We have two more.
Okay.
The next is Diana Kalfas. Diana, I'm going to go. You should be allowed to talk now.
Okay, great. Can you hear me?
Yes, welcome, Diana.
Hi. Great, thank you. So, my name is Diana Chato, a resident of Glen Ellyn. I attest and affirm that the statements are true, accurate, and within my personal knowledge. I will also be submitting this into the public comment. I just wanted to take some time to clarify things here. And I'm speaking on behalf of Glen Ellyn VHP. For those of you that are listening and maybe are not familiar with our group, we are dedicated to educating our community about 4G, 5G, and working with our board, the Glen Ellyn board, on getting safer, better, more resident protective wireless ordinances. So I just wanted to clarify some things because I think there's a little bit of confusion. The role of a city attorney is to advise the elected representatives and possibly the city manager. It is not to be a filter for speaking to city staff. I have left several messages for Stacy Springer and Witt over the course of 2 weeks, and I have yet to hear back from either of them. Instead, here on the day of our meeting today, I get a return call from Attorney Matthews for them on their behalf. Last I checked, I'm a Glen Ellyn resident and taxes. Both of these positions are paid positions, paid for by our tax dollars. Last I checked, both of the people work for the residents of Glen Ellyn and should responsibly and professionally return residents' calls. Secondly, President McGinley and on a couple occasions, Attorney Matthews have ascribed to me that we are or will be suing the village and not treat us as if we are suing you. No legal action has been taken anywhere at any time regarding this matter or any of the issues brought to your attention regarding those small cell wireless facilities. We have reiterated over and over that we are seeking to work with our board together. That said, you have to play fairly. You need to call us back and give us the information we're requesting on a timely basis. That means the city staff needs to do that. This tactic of forcing us to speak through Attorney Matthews is highly inappropriate, must stop right away. Please give direction to Attorney Matthews not to take this filter role any longer. So going forward, as Glen Ellyn residents, we kindly request a hearing directly from our village staff regarding any concerns or questions or issues we have and to being treated fairly. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Diana. Just to address that for the rest of the residents who might be hearing, I have directed and staff has directed Attorney Matthews to intercede here. Our staff has other responsibilities as well besides answering to the numerous questions, and our staff has spent numerous hours with this group, and therefore to protect staff to be able to complete their jobs for other residents, and there's really most of the talk is regarding interpretation of law and therefore the different rules that they would like to see, and since we disagree with their interpretation of law, it is going through Attorney Matthews, and that's exactly where it needs to be. So while I appreciate, and every group has and every resident has a right to reach out to the village at some point when the number of hours far exceeds a normal expectation, we do sometimes have to take these steps. Now, this group is more than welcome to continue to talk to the village, but we will take the steps necessary to allow staff to address all residents' concerns and not just one particular group. All right, moving on to the next person.
So the next person is Sophia. And Sophia, you should be allowed to speak.
All right, welcome, Sophia.
Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure. My name is Sophia Chiato, a resident of Glen Ellyn. I attest and affirm that the following statements are true, accurate, and within my personal knowledge. Thank you for opening up Zoom at the last village board meeting so the residents could use their own voices to speak and address their government. It made a huge difference in being able to communicate with you. Let's take this to the next step and give residents the opportunity to be seen on Zoom and present a couple of slides to you as they address you. Glen Ellyn must locally regulate the maximum allowed effective radiated power from wireless infrastructures in Glen Ellyn. That is needed 0.1 watts of ERP to be able to make a phone call. Tonight, Glen Ellyn VHP are proposing the Ordinance VHP to you. The VHP recipe will serve to protect public safety and the quiet enjoyment of streets. V stands for vertical, distance off the ground that the antennas are. H stands for horizontal, how many feet from the ground the antennas are, and P stands for power. If we don't regulate all three, the village will have achieved nothing effective. A workable VHP recipe for years is vertical, the antenna is about 200 feet off the ground, and horizontal, antennas are 2,500 plus feet from homes and schools. Lastly, the power means that Glen Ellyn must locally regulate the maximum allowed effective radiated power from wireless infrastructures in Glen Ellyn. All that is needed is 0.1 watts of ERP to be able to make a phone call. We are placing tonight into the Glen Ellyn public record evidence from Sacramento, California from a Verizon 4G small cell with an emphamal antenna, the same company who makes the antennas for the first 3 WTFs in Glen Ellyn. I will read the following account from Noah Davidson in Sacramento. He said, "We hired certified building biologist Eric Weidheim to take measurements in and around our home. The 4G readings inside my niece's bedroom were some of the highest he had ever measured indoors. 50,000 average microwatts per square meter, significantly higher than typical macro cell antenna exposure. It's no surprise to me now that my nieces and other family members started experiencing health problems, headaches, nosebleeds, inability to sleep, flu symptoms, all well-documented symptoms of microwave radiation sickness soon after the antenna was installed and powered on. Eric helped us install shielding in the home at a cost of $10,000 and suggested that we move the children into a back room away from the antenna. About a week after taking these steps, their symptoms went away," end quote. Don't let this happen in Glen Ellyn. Place Ordinance VHP on the agenda for August, and please vote this through. I have expressed no concern or any other non-substantive matter, only matters of facts and law. Thank you.